Okay, so here they are putting brand new carpet over top of wet, soaking wet carpet padding. This is the second time they did this. They put the old carpet back in the first time, and then they put it right over top of that. So they couldn't see any mold or rust, but this is after it's been vacuumed many times and wrung out and got wet again. So if you know what that black box is, let me know. So the carpet was wet all the way back to, it was even wet behind this chair, the front passenger chair. It was damp when they got the car, but they didn't even feel that. They ignored me telling them that. So here's the wet carpet padding. Doesn't it look dangerous for those plugs, those wires up there? I mean, sitting there in that wet padding. So they vacuumed, or I vacuumed most of the mold off of there when I was vacuuming it. So here's the old carpet padding that I took out and dried for days. I dried it in my house, and they put that carpet back in over top after they fixed the water leak. The air conditioner fixed in quotes, air quotes, after they fixed my car. After they plugged the air conditioner drain back in so that it didn't drain into the car, which actually it's still doing. Then they put that old carpet back in and told me to come and get my car. It was done. I told them, no, you have to replace the carpet and the padding, all the carpet in the car and the padding. See there, they put the carpet, there it is, torn, and they put it back in my car. When the car got there, it didn't have any carpet in the front passenger side. So I think this is rust. Don't you think that's rust? Right there on the right side, along that bar. Anyway, there's other kinds of rust in here, if you don't think that's rust. There's actually a green bathtub ring around it, where it was full of water. Now here he is all done with his carpet job the second time, but this is brand new carpet. But he still put this brand new carpet over top of this wet padding. I think that's for sound, the padding, but it's on the metal wall, and then there's the padding, and then there's that black thing. Well, there's wires under it, and then there's that black thing bolted to the wall. They didn't even take that off. They didn't clean under it. Nothing like that. And they did it twice. There's the old carpet that I cleaned up, dried, and sent. You see how wide it is? That's because the water that was in the bottom, it was deep. I mean, I vacuumed 3/4 of a gallon of water at least off the floor after I lifted up the carpet. That water was all blue. It was really blue. That's because it took the dye out of there. I have no idea how long that carpet was sitting in water. I mean, it just probably gradually happened, but it was there for a while. Doesn't that look dangerous, those wires bolted to the floor with next to that wet carpet matting? You can see how soaked it is. In fact, they had to turn the car on and get the water to come out in order to find the leak. So it would have got wet when they did that. I dried it out pretty good before it got there. I had 9 days between the time I found out what was going on and the wrecker came. Yeah, back there, that's the back behind the seat. Why do they think water didn't run under there? There's holes in that floor. It's like little beer cans welded together. So do you think they should have done that? Do you think that's good workmanship? They're standing by it. No. I would be embarrassed to do this kind of work. And in fact, this drill here, his nut runner, he doesn't have a dad or a supervisor because you don't put your tools on the car. You don't put your tools on the car itself so it can scratch it. I don't even think they have an EV mechanic. I think they're unicorns. They just made it up. Okay, there it is, that brand new carpet, and they're laying it down over top of that soaking wet padding, and they think they did a good job. What do you think? All right. Nice shoes, dude. But of course they wouldn't take pictures of the rust. They're not looking for rust or mold. They're not taking pictures of that because I told them there was mold and rust, and they say there isn't. So they're trying really, really hard not to. I got pictures of rust, believe me. So I would really like to know what you think that black box is. Thanks for watching. So this I thought was my original problem, but the problem is this probably, well, in fact, it happened at the factory. It wasn't plugged into the firewall. So you can see there where it just needs to be lifted up and it would pop in that hole. I didn't see these pictures until lately, the last couple of days. I used a flashlight and then I just put my phone up in there. So I actually didn't see that the phone recorded this. This is the money shot. So I guess they plugged that back in. Then they put my old carpet back on top of the wet padding and called it good. I told them no. So they did it again. Only had to wait 2 weeks for carpet, which I thought I was getting carpet for the whole car. And then they put it back together and said it was done. But you know what? It's not done. There's that mold that they can't find. Anyway, right in the center of that black box, in the bottom center, can you see that's the mold? Also, other videos I have, there's green mold on the metal, and then it's on the padding. Hey, when I vacuumed that water out of there, it was blue, really dark blue. So that's what threw me. It took a while to figure out what was going on. Look at that. Maybe that's the money shot. If I just lifted that straight up and pushed it in, I would have solved my problem. The problem was I couldn't talk to a real EV Chevrolet mechanic. I had to talk to the service writer who knows nothing. He talks to the imaginary EV mechanic, or the service manager. Anyway, I'll stop bitching. Let me know what you think. My car's a piece of shit. I believe this car qualifies for the lemon law. In 2 days, it'll be broken down for 2 months. Thanks for watching.